Bold and the Beautiful. Eric slams Steffi and Ridge with a hard lesson on family. Hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel Beautiful Today. I hope everyone is having a nice day. Before we begin the video, please subscribe and give the video a thumbs up. Bold and the Beautiful has Eric Forrester silently stewing as Steffi Forrester and her father, Ridge Forrester, put SC's reputation in danger with their harsh actions on the CBS. Eric built Forrester Creations, and B&B hints he's not about to sit by as his granddaughter and son's personal lives start tearing it down. But it looks like he does this from behind the scenes, as the promises a twist next week. Bold and the Beautiful spoilers. Eric Forrester sees SC in jeopardy. Bold and the Beautiful's Eric Forrester, John McCook, built his company into a world-renowned fashion house. But looking toward retirement, he put Ridge Forrester, Thorsten Kaye, and Steffi Forrester, Jacqueline Messinswood, in the wheelhouse. For Eric, it was always about family, and SC was to be the legacy he intended to leave behind for his Forrester brood. While things went fine for a while, Steffi Forrester's Jacqueline Messinswood personal life seeped into the business, causing the workplace to become unhinged. It started with Steffi, but Ridge followed suit as he defended his daughter's decision to fire Hope Logan, Annika Noel. So, Eric has his two co-CEOs driving his life's work in the wrong direction for his ideas about a family business. While he likely won't appear to take matters into his own hands on the surface, he might do so from behind the scenes. B&B spoilers. Ridge Forrester and Steffi Forrester wage battle. Bold and the Beautiful spoilers for next week have Steffi and Ridge waiting with bated breath to hear what Justin Barber, Aaron D. Spears, says about undoing this takeover. But the spoilers suggest they won't hear good news. Ridge Forrester offered his CEO a second chance if he stopped his takeover plan. But from what the B&B preview shows, it looks like Carter Walton, Lawrence St. Victor, didn't bite at Ridge Forrester's offer, and that's likely due to a contingency the dressmaker threw in. What came along with that offer was Carter needing to dump Hope, which he isn't about to do anytime soon. So, as the father-daughter co-CEOs look for a way to fix Carter's deed, Eric might see this mess as a chance to bring the company back to where it needs to be. Eric likely had enough of his granddaughter, who shut him down as he tried to protest her firing Hope. She acted callous, treating her grandfather as if he was insignificant. Bold and the Beautiful fans saw how Eric retaliated once before when he was made to feel unneeded at SC. He set up shop, creating his final SC line. But this time he might have something else in mind. Bold and the Beautiful. Eric secretly goes after Steffi and Ridge. Bold and the Beautiful might have Eric Forrester furious when he first hears about Carter and Hope's coup. But he already knows that Carter is correct about SC going in the wrong direction, which started with Steffi firing Hope. So, Eric might silently join up with Carter, giving him pointers as he gets SC back in order. Then, with Steffi and Ridge no longer in control, Eric could step back in and run the company the way he always wanted. Of course, Carter would probably need to table his dreams of SC becoming a global luxury brand. But to get the company back on track, he'd likely do so with little protest, if any at all. Carter would most likely welcome the chance for Eric to become the final word again at SC. Or, with Carter's help, the Forrester matriarch could set something up so that the other members of his extended family who work there won't ever face something like Hope did. Maybe he could create a board consisting of folks who work at FC. Then they could vote on important business decisions, like ending a design line. Either way, if Eric Forrester should secretly support Carter as he proceeds with this takeover, he could bring Forrester Creations back to where it belongs. This would also act as a wake-up call to Steffi Forrester and Ridge Forrester, as it teaches them something about being part of a family business on the CBS. The Bold and the Beautiful is renowned for its endless twists, emotional confrontations, and high-stakes family drama. With a legacy spanning decades, the show has always been a master at creating moments that leave audiences gasping for air. One of the most iconic and often electrifying aspects of the show is the internal conflict within the Forrester family. As the characters battle with love, loyalty, and power, it's inevitable that tensions rise, and nowhere is this more evident than in the relationship between Eric Forrester, his children, and his sometimes tumultuous marriage. In a riveting recent episode, Eric Forrester, the patriarch of the Forrester family, delivered a powerful and no-holds-barred speech. The target of his ire were his own children, Steffy and Ridge. As tensions mounted between the two siblings, both of whom hold prominent positions within Forrester Creations, Eric was pushed to his breaking point. In this pivotal scene, he did what Eric does best. He held up a mirror to his children's actions and demanded they reckon with the truth. This moment was one of the rare times that Eric took an unflinching stance, slamming Steffy and Ridge with a hard lesson about family loyalty, priorities, and the consequences of their recent choices. The fiery encounter was more than just a parental reprimand. It was a reckoning for the entire Forrester clan, a reminder of the values that should drive them forward. The build-up to the confrontation. The Forrester family has always been a tight-knit group, but they have also been marked by their share of conflicts, betrayals, and power struggles. Steffy and Ridge are no strangers to the complexities of being part of this high-powered family. As children of the powerful patriarch Eric and his former wife, Stephanie, both have inherited their parents' strong personalities and their ability to make bold moves within the family business. Yet, time and again, their actions have resulted in internal family rifts that seem to only grow deeper as each generation of Forresters deals with their own personal and professional challenges. For Steffy, the pressure of being a successful businesswoman, mother, and daughter of one of Los Angeles' most prominent families has sometimes led to decisions that don't always align with the Forrester family's ideals. Her relationship with her father has seen its fair share of ups and downs, especially when she feels that her actions are being questioned. Steffy, much like her father, has an inherent desire to protect the family name and legacy, but her methods have occasionally come under scrutiny. On the other hand, Ridge, the eldest son, has long been a key player in Forrester Creations. His passion for the business has led him to take some very aggressive steps to ensure its success. But his emotional baggage, specifically with his romantic entanglements, has caused a great deal of friction within the family. His divided loyalties between his family and his own desires have often put him at odds with his father, Eric. The recent tensions stemmed from a culmination of events, decisions made in the heat of the moment, betrayals, and the ever-present battle for power within Forrester Creations. The straw that broke the camel's back came when Steffy and Ridge made a series of bold moves regarding the future of the company without consulting Eric, who had previously been sidelined in matters of business. Eric's outburst on that fateful day was not a moment of impulsive rage, but rather a carefully calculated response to the accumulation of frustrations. Sitting in his grand office at Forrester Creations, surrounded by family portraits and trophies that symbolize the company's history, Eric faced Steffy and Ridge with an icy calmness. His demeanor, however, betrayed the storm that was brewing within him. "What have you two done?" Eric's voice was stern, but the hurt in his eyes was unmistakable. "I've spent my life building this company with your mother. I've built a legacy for you, your children, to inherit, and what have you done with that? You've turned this family upside down over your own egos." The tension in the room was palpable as Eric's words echoed through the office, reaching the hearts of both Steffy and Ridge. For Steffy, who had grown used to running the company on her own terms, Eric's accusation hit close to home. She'd always prided herself on her ability to take charge, but in that moment, she realized that she had stepped over a line. For Ridge, the sting was just as sharp. Though he had always respected his father, his desire for control, especially in his personal life, often put him at odds with Eric. The two had always had a complex relationship, defined by love, but also a deep rivalry that sometimes bordered on outright hostility. "What do you mean, Dad?" Ridge shot back, his voice defensive. "We've done what was necessary to keep the company afloat. You've been away for far too long, and the world has changed. Steffi and I were doing what we needed to do." But Eric was not swayed. His response was blunt, cutting right to the core of the issue. "You've forgotten what it means to be a family. A real family works together, not against each other. And right now, you two are so caught up in your own personal wars that you've lost sight of what matters most." Steffi and Ridge exchanged uneasy glances, both realizing that their father was right. They had been so caught up in their own ambitions and personal struggles that they had neglected the unity that had once been the hallmark of the Forrester family. Their father's words were harsh, but they were family loyalty. Eric's lesson on family was not just a lecture, it was a wake-up call. For Eric, the Forrester family was more than just blood ties. It was about loyalty, trust, and working together for the greater good of everyone involved. He reminded Steffi and Ridge that the decisions they made affected not just the business, but the entire family dynamic. The stakes were higher than just profit margins and corporate rivalries. They were about preserving the legacy of the Forrester name. "Do you honestly think your mother would have wanted this?" Eric continued, his voice softening slightly but still filled with conviction. "She fought her entire life to protect this family, and here you are, tearing it apart. I never thought I'd have to remind you of this, but family comes first. Always." The words stung, but they also began to resonate with Steffi and Ridge. It was a lesson they both needed to hear, even if they were reluctant to admit it. They had let their egos get in the way of something much more important than business deals or personal grudges. They had lost sight of the very foundation that made their family strong in the first place. For Steffi, this moment was a turning point. While she had always prided herself on her independence and strength, Eric's words reminded her of the importance of collaboration and trust within the family. She knew she had been too focused on her own ambitions, sometimes at the cost of the family's unity. Ridge, too, found himself questioning his own choices. The tension between his personal life and his role at Forrester Creations had often clouded his judgment. His emotional decisions had led to strained relationships with those closest to him, and his father's rebuke made him realize that he had to reevaluate his priorities. Rebuilding the family. The scene closed with Eric giving one final piece of advice. "If you want to preserve the Forrester legacy, then you have to start acting like a family again. You have to stop fighting and start working together." It was a hard pill to swallow, but it was a lesson that both Steffi and Ridge needed to hear. As they left the office, the weight of their father's words hung heavy in the air. This confrontation wasn't just about business. It was about repairing the bonds that had been frayed over time. In the days that followed, both Steffi and Ridge took time to reflect on what had transpired. They realized that Eric was right. Their family was built on a foundation of love, trust, and mutual respect. If they wanted to move forward, they would need to heal the rifts between them and rediscover the power of unity. While it may take time for the wounds to heal, one thing was certain. Eric had given Steffi and Ridge a lesson they would never forget. It was a hard lesson, but sometimes it's the hardest lessons that teach us the most. Conclusion. In the world of the bold and the beautiful, family is everything. The drama, the rivalries, and the passion that drive the storylines are all rooted in the complexities of familial love and loyalty. Eric Forrester's hard-hitting lesson to his children on October 7, 2024, was a reminder that even the strongest families can falter, but with a little introspection, they can rebuild. And in the end, that's what makes the bold and the beautiful so compelling. It's not just about the glitz and glam of high fashion and corporate intrigue. It's about the heart and soul of the family that drives it all. Let me know if you'd like me to elaborate more or adjust the tone.